What's up, Culinary Credit, man? I appreciate y'all for clicking that thumbnail. We back with another video. I just want to thank God for allowing you to come to my channel so we could teach y'all about credit. But first, we gotta dive into this intro. Okay, now we back. First thing we're gonna be talking about today is FICO scores. Man, you gotta understand that you need to know what your FICO score is. It is very imperative that you know this, especially when you start to go apply for all of these credit cards or go get a finance for a car or go get your brand new squeaky house that you want to purchase, right? You definitely need to know that there are a lot of different FICO scores out there that you need to be aware of. There is more than just what you see. So that's why you came to Culinary Credit, so I can teach you about all of these different FICO scores that are out there. Let's just dive right into it. Let's not play no games. Let's stir the pot right off the bat, right? So now, you have a Vantage Score, and a lot of people don't know what this Vantage Score means when they go to like the Credit Karma and the Credit Sesames and all of that. So the Vantage Score is just a calculation of all of your credit file, the age history, the payments, the mix of your credit, what credit files you have on there, and things of that nature. But the thing that people don't understand is that when they look at this Vantage Score, and they have a Vantage Score 3.0 and they have a Vantage Score 4.0. But when it comes to this Vantage Score it's not accurate, okay? It's not a good place to go look for your credit score when it comes to the Credit Karma, the Sesame Credit. Like, these are free platforms because all they do is they sell our information. They literally sell our information to different banks. And that's why if you haven't noticed, that's why you always are getting pre-approved things in the mail, because they literally take the information that you have put into Credit Karma or Sesame Credit, and that's why you get a lot of those suggestions of what credit cards you should apply for, or installment loans, which ones you should apply for. Like, all these free platforms are doing is they're collecting your information and then they're basically selling it, making money off your information. Okay? So now I would say I want to make sure you guys know that when you go to all of these free platforms, that your Vantage Score is not accurate. It's not going to be accurate at all. I would give y'all the recommendation to go to My FICO. Go to My FICO. It gives you it's more accurate because they have been around since 1956. Now, Vantage Score has been around since 2006, right? So since we have Vantage Score it's just not as accurate because My FICO has been around more. They they got their ish together. They definitely got their ish together. That's why people always want to go to My FICO, and they get all of their information right, So I just want to let y'all know that a lot of lenders do not look at Vantage Scores. Like, they want to know the specific number so they'd be able to extend any type of credit line to you, whether it be a house mortgage, car finance, or credit card. They want to make sure that they know your exact number. Vantage Score is nothing. It's just not taken that serious. Like, lenders don't go and look for a Vantage Score. They go and look for your FICO score. Okay, your FICO score is more impactful than your Vantage Score. We're going to talk about the differences when it comes to FICO scores. Say you go on My FICO, you'll see FICO score 8. Now, your FICO score 8, all it is a base FICO score. Okay, so what I mean by a base FICO score is just a very accurate number of all your accounts and late payments and things of that nature. So it's just it's more accurate than the Vantage Score. Okay, but there also is different FICO scores that are called industry specific scores. Now, industry specific scores hold on, let me throw that up there. Now, industry specific scores are scores that are for your auto loan score and your mortgage loan score and your bank card scores. I know it's a lot, mind blowing. Bam, right? So when we talk about the base score, which is a FICO 8 score, now your FICO 8 score, like I said, is just a calculation of all of your trade lines, your bank cards, your mortgage credit lines, your auto lender credit lines, or whatever, right? So that is all that is. Now, when these lenders go and look at your credit file when you are going to get mortgage loans, and let's just talk about mortgage loans first. When it comes to a mortgage loan, what happens there is that they might look at your FICO 8, but they can't. They more than likely they really can't, because the way that it has to be done. And then now I'm gonna put these ones up here also, right? I'm gonna put those one up there also. Is that so? You have Experian, and they use FICO 2, right? And also you have Equifax that uses FICO 5, right? And now you have TransUnion that uses FICO 4, right? So now what happens is the reason that they can't use your FICO 8 is because it's not a broad spectrum of your whole credit file. So they want to make sure that you are able to pay this money back. And the only way that they can use that is Experian using the FICO 2, and Equifax using the FICO 5, and TransUnion using the FICO 4, right? Now, I had just put up a screenshot of how that looks to make you understand it a little bit more. So now also, when mortgages are done, how they calculate that and how they figure out what your interest rate are, and how they figure out if you're capable to pay it back, and they find, so they call it the middle score. So now I'll explain this to you also. Now the middle score, how this works is, like, say they'll take your Experian FICO 2 score, which would be 673, and then they'll take your Equifax FICO 5, which can be 755, right? And then, so now they will take your TransUnion FICO 4, which can be 623. Now what they do is they take the biggest number and the smallest number, and they take those away, and whatever number is remaining in the middle of the smallest and the biggest, then they use that score. Okay, that is called a middle score. This is how they've been doing it for years. Let's talk about the when it comes to financing cars. So they also would use Experian FICO 2, and they'll use the Equifax FICO 5, and they'll use the TransUnion FICO 4. So now, some lenders will go and pull your FICO 8 score, your base score, but that's really dependent on what that base score looks like. So if it's looking, pretty decent, like if you're in the area of like the 700s and 750s, like they'll probably just go off of that. But they also use that same format that I just explained to you, right? And they'll use those different FICO scores, FICO 2, FICO 5, and FICO 4, to establish your credit profile, to see if you're able to, like pay this money back. Also to see what your interest rates should be and things of that nature. So like a lot of people don't know that you have more than one FICO score. So now that, like I just explained, that's the same process that they can use. Sometimes they'll go for just your base FICO score 8, right? Or sometimes they will use your industry specific scores. And these are industry specific scores that I'm talking about, which is the 2, 5, and 4. FICO 2, FICO 5, and FICO 4, right? Those are the industry specific scores. I'm telling you, y'all need to learn about these industry specific scores, because you need to know what you will be applying for and how you need to apply for it and when you need to apply for it. These are important FICO score numbers that you should know about. What they use, it's the standard that is happening today in our economy, okay? Now, we're going to go to bank card scores, and this is also industry specific score, because now why I say industry specific scores is because, of course, industries, the banks, when you go finance a car, mortgage, when you go to a bank, it's an industry, right? And a bank card, when you're always going to end up going to a bank. So that's why they call this the industry specific scores, right? So now, when you are like going to get a credit card, so what happens is that they can use also FICO 8 score, your base score, and they sometimes will use industry specific scores. So now, since we know with our industry specific scores, which is the Experian FICO 2, Equifax FICO 5, and TransUnion FICO 4. And also with the bank card, they have another one that they use, and it's called the FICO 3. It's nothing really you need to worry about like that, but it definitely plays a factor into when you get in credit cards. But we need to just focus in and zero in on these FICO 2, FICO 5, and FICO 4. We need to worry about those ones. And also when you go to my FICO, it basically shows you exactly what it'll show you. FICO 2, FICO 5, FICO 4. If you just scroll and play around in the My FICO app, it'll definitely show you. So actually, I'm not even going to do that to you. I'm just going to post up a screenshot of what it looks like. Here. Right there. So, now that you see what I was just speaking about, it's very clear. It shows you FICO 2, FICO 5, and FICO 4. Right? What we are going to talk about next is the most important. A lot of people also do not know that there is another FICO score coming out. This FICO score is called the FICO Score 10. Boom, right? It's called the FICO Score 10. So now with this FICO score that they're about to, it's already released actually, but a lot of banks and creditors haven't adopted it completely just yet. So with this FICO Score 10, now the creditors are going to be able to look back on your whole credit file at least 24 months or longer. That's why it's important for you to worry about your credit right now. Make sure you clean all of your charge-offs out of there. Make sure you get them removed. Make sure you get off all of your collections, because all of these creditors will be able to eventually, when this FICO 10 gets adopted more, they're definitely going to be able to see your credit profile for at least 24 months or longer back. I'm just letting you guys know about that FICO score. It's out there. It just hasn't been adopted as much because it's so new and it's so fresh. So, because like a lot of the creditors like to use older FICO scores. These FICO scores that are FICO Score 8 and FICO Score 2 and FICO Score 5 and FICO Score 4. There also is, because I want to let y'all know all of the information. So there also is another FICO score. It's called FICO Score 9. So creditors, when it comes to FICO Score 9, it's not used widely. Like a lot of creditors didn't like it when it came out. So they literally just threw FICO Score 9 to the side and they just resorted back to the FICO Score 8. But there are some creditors that do use FICO Score 9. FICO Score 9 definitely is completely different than FICO Score 8. FICO scores, they like to basically update FICO scores. They want to use different FICOs to see what works best and things like that. But like I was saying, the most important ones that we need to worry about are the ones I'm talking about today. There is a base FICO score, which is your FICO Score 8. And then we have our industry specific FICO scores, what are FICO Score 2, FICO Score 5, and FICO Score 4. And these are all used for mortgage loans, auto loans, credit cards. Need I say it less? Okay? So now, and also, I'll just have to make sure that I say this again. Do not trust this Vantage Score. This Vantage Score is very deceptive. Or not deceptive, but deceiving. It's very deceiving. It will steer you the wrong way sometimes. Like when you go on these Credit Karmas and these Sesame credits and start to apply for stuff, just go to My FICO. And I would say you don't want to go to My FICO until you start getting into the process of applying for stuff. Like when you actually want to go and apply for your credit cards. Like I would say get My FICO then, so you can know where your score is at. Like your My FICO, or not your My FICO, but your FICO 2, your FICO 4 and your FICO 5. You want to make sure that you know where all these scores are at. Like, don't just think that your base score, FICO 8, will handle these bank card situations, and don't just think that your FICO score 8 will just handle these mortgage situations. Don't just think that your my FICO score 8 will handle these auto loan situations. We have to know that there's different FICO scores that we need to be worrying about. So now, I would say that if you want to get your FICO score 8 up there in the area of like the 700s and between 750 area, like, okay, that is probably, it'll probably be okay. It'll probably be okay for you to apply for some stuff, you know. But before you start applying for stuff, make sure that you understand there are different FICO scores out here, okay? And if you didn't know that, now you know, because you rock with culinary credit. Y'all are CC. We definitely always stirring the pot over here, man. And also, please, please, please go ahead and hit that like button over there. Hit that like button right there, right there, right there, right down there, right there. I think it's right there. Hopefully it's right there. But if it's not, then go to the other side. Okay. So also, and please subscribe if you like the channel. Please share. We have to let our people know, man, that these scores they exist, and they're not going anywhere anytime soon. So, and I'm telling you, get your credit right today, because this FICO score 10 is definitely going to be very impactful to your credit score. Okay? You can also just go online and search for things like that. You can search for the FICO score 10. You can search for the FICO score 2, FICO score 5, or FICO score 4, or FICO score 3, or FICO score 9. You can search for all of this information. It is accessible to us. But if you don't know this stuff, then you're definitely not going to search for it. That's why I'm devoted to teaching y'all about credit. I have to let you guys know what I know. God told me that. I'm not going to let y'all down. I'm definitely going to keep pumping out videos, and I appreciate y'all for coming and watching these videos, man. Without y'all, there would be no culinary credit. No culinary credits, right? I think it's right there. It's going to be right there. I'm going to put it there. On that note, I'd just like to say, y'all have a blessed day. I appreciate y'all once again, and God bless y'all. Peace.